You lot, raise your glasses. This one's for Paul, Phil, and the Paranormal Soul Brother. Paul's got a torch and a trade he's built. Swears that he felt a cold hand on his bum. Phil's in the kitchen with a GoPro helmet, shouting, "Come at me, spirit, you cowardly scum!" Soul Brothers burning the bargain bin sage, reading vibes like a busted old gauge. Ghost wankers, ghost wankers, three brave idiots and a busted van. Ghost wankers, chasing bad vibes round the caravan. If your house feels weird and your dog won't stay, they'll rock up drunk and scare it away. Ghost wankers, best worst hunters in the whole damn land. Oh, yeah.
Tonight, the guest is all of us. And we're going to talk about anything and everything. And I'm going to get things started because I have two questions and I want to get everybody's opinion. There's no right answer, but I'd like to hear your opinion. Recently, you guys probably saw in the news that Trump appeared in an AI image as the Messiah. What do you think about Trump's mental stability? Is it normal after he posted a picture of himself as the Messiah? What do you think? There's no right answer. Phil?
I don't think it's changed from day one. I mean, whether he was ever mentally stable is the question. So that's my opinion. Yeah, this isn't a political show, so I'm not going to get into my feelings one way or another. But I don't think. I think he has a sense of humor as a president, which pushes boundaries. Which makes some people uncomfortable, and I really don't think it was anything more than probably just a joke that super Christians are probably going to get offended by, just like when Madonna kissed a black Jesus on the Pepsi commercial back in the 80s, that offended all the nuns, or who was the guy who wrote The Last Temptation of Christ, and then they put out a fatwa to kill him, It's like, yeah, Salman Rushdie. Yeah. So whenever you do anything with, religious wise, you're going to offend somebody. So I don't think it's, I really don't think he seriously thinks he's a Messiah. Well, I think he thinks a lot of himself, but I don't think it's that far.
Remember when the Beatles, they got a lot of flack because John Lennon said, "Hey, we're more popular than Jesus."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't mean it. He didn't mean like he was the Messiah. He just literally meant that rock music was more popular than church was at the time. And he had a point. I mean, but of course they started burning his records. And then the KKK of all people showed up at one of the Beatles concerts, to burn Beatles albums. Like they're some, bastion of morality that should be telling anybody, anyways, yeah, the whole absurdity of all of it. Anyways, I'll let somebody else talk about it.
Okay. Hercules, what do you think?
Well, I'm not going to comment on what I think about it, but there is a ancient author called Evemeros in Greek, pronounced Euhemerus in English, that lived during the time when Alexander the Great became a god. And he wrote a book about the process of Alexander becoming deified. So there are people today who are deifying or messiahifying our president. So it's really interesting to watch that process actually happening before our eyes with some segment of the population. But in terms of what I think about it, I'm not a Christian, so I don't really have an opinion about it.
Sounds good. Steve.
I didn't take offense at all at it. I thought it was just a little bit of satire. I think he probably was just trying to tweak some of the people that simply don't like him. I mean, I wouldn't put that past him at all. And I just didn't. I guess somebody came up with an image that Obama. Well, I don't know that he posted it, but somebody posted of Obama a few years back dressed in those kinds of robes. The image wasn't quite as busy, but I just much ado about nothing. And although if I were Trump, I would find other ways to tweak the opposition because this just triggers people all over the place.
And it kind of cracks me up because right now, musician Jack White, he thinks that Trump is the Antichrist. Yeah, that he's going to bring on the end of days and the final war in the Middle East. I don't know. But Zandine, what do you think about it?
Religion, Christ, maybe Trump knows something we don't know at the highest level. Maybe he's been told there is no religion, there is no Christ here. That could be one thing. Number two, since the beginning of history, people, like he said, the emperor, have used the religious following, whichever had the most might or strength behind it, to possibly lend their power to him. So in this case, I don't think it's this much, but in the past, when he's flirted with this, he's tried to galvanize the church around him, because if you have the followers, the religion and the political, arms, and you have, a great portion of it. So I think it could be maybe he's trying to appeal to people over the Pope, perhaps, and put himself out like that. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Well, okay. Thank you, everybody, for your comments and answers on that. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass.
I have a shirt this is funny because like I said, I'm not going to I don't like telling people how I feel one way or another, politically speaking. You guys probably already know because we've been talking for years about this stuff. But check this out. Give me a second.
Yeah, we don't know what anybody's thinking. We're just on the show talking stuff.
It sure stirred up a lot of people.
Yep.
So can you see what that is?
What's going on here? Is that Hulk Hogan?
It's Hulk Hogan. It's Kid Rock, and that's some other right wing pundit
Entity
guy, from I don't know, Fox News or something or other. But they've all got their hands on the chosen one. And who's the chosen one?
Is that Newsom?
Sure is. So
wow.
That was Tucker to the right.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? Trump isn't the first one to make a joke like that. It's people take themselves too seriously.
I mean, those guys are making big jokes. I mean, Elon Musk the other day said he played golf on the moon twice. Was that a joke? Was that real? But it just goes to show you, you never know what these guys know.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, sorry to cut you off, Paul. Go ahead.
No, that's okay, because somebody told me there was a paranormal investigator out there calling himself the Demon Warrior and making himself look like a superhero. So, but anyway, I'm going to pass the torch on to Phil. What do you like to talk about today?
Today, I like the Zandine, our own paranormal soul brother, has come up with an application that isn't available to the public yet. We're still tweaking it, but it tracks paranormal activity. And I know there are other apps out there like that, but this one's pretty cool. And I just think it's a pretty neat idea to be able to just have something on your phone, because everybody uses an app for everything these days. And, you could be literally anywhere, just look on your phone and say, wow, what type of activity is happening? If I'm at vacation, I'm camping, I'm going up the mountain somewhere, I'm going to the beach, I'm in a town that I've never been to before. And you can just pull it up and say, what type of paranormal activity is happening, in this town. I think it like tunes right in with our podcast. I mean, we got the Ghost Wankers, but and in that sense, Zandine, you pulled up a whole bunch of stuff on that app yesterday. There was activity, from between California all the way down to Florida. But what were some of the hot things that you noticed that were coming off the charts? I know Shasta is always a hot spot, but
Yeah, I've been noticing that Shasta, yeah, like you say, it is, even with the weather, it doesn't matter if it's, clear skies or not. That's pretty incredible. But more importantly, Paul, close right to Mather, a couple of days in a row, they've had like witnesses of landed ships, metallic ships actually landing, and I'm wondering if it has anything to do with the military base over there or whatever. But a lot of stuff close to home, you'd be surprised. Some apparitions. They had some pretty interesting ones where I was in San Francisco when I saw this. It said that there was a apparition 7 feet, kind of glowing green, that went through the Presidio, and then people saw it in the Mission. Other people in the city reported it, and also I noticed those earthquakes that happened in the past, the last couple of days. I don't know if anybody felt them. I didn't actually feel them, but you see all kind of activity ramping up in these reports, and you wonder like if it has anything to do. But that's another note. But like you said, Phil, they have a lot of interesting reports, and I try to include whatever region, like since we're bros, Paul's region, my region, and your region. So, but they have some interesting ones. You'd be surprised. I mean, every day there's something happening. San Jose, Redding, Chico, Mount Shasta, Mount Lassen. I mean, it's happening every day as far as the reports. Who knows how legit? You'd have to do. These are field reports. You'd have to go really investigate them, and then even then, who knows what conclusion? But they're reports.
Where does the information come from? I mean, just anybody can enter this stuff in, or?
Well, several sources. I got like bots that'll scour, all like 4chan, Reddit, personal stories, MoveFund, Aether, like anybody and anything. It's just like a deep seek, but you can actually filter what you actually want on there. That way, whatever's interesting to you.
I think that's pretty neat. So especially if you're a ghost hunter, or a UFO hunter, you're going out looking for this kind of stuff. Kind of gives you a head start, or at least an idea where to look, almost like a fish finder.
Yeah. I mean, I could try to share the screen. I don't know if this will work. I'll try to share the screen if I can, and see if I could show some. I've never the share screen.
Are you on your phone or are you on a laptop?
I'm on the laptop. So let me see. Tell me if you guys can. I don't know if I'm sharing.
While he's looking for that, I've investigated.
Am I sharing at all? Can you see?
Yep.
Paranormal.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can make this bigger. So,
NorCal, SoCal.
let me see. I got this. The window is kind of blocking what I want to do. But let's see. If I can get it to come on while we're on. But yeah, so as you can see, it has some categories: UFOs, ghosts, demons, alien contact, haunted houses, alien ship landings.
So if you clicked on haunted houses, that would bring up haunted houses in certain areas. Could you hone in on like a certain town you're going through or things like that?
It right now to do California and Southern California and Florida. But if I I just have to put regions in there. I only put the ones that I was into because it was like personal use. But if I was to have somebody use it, I'd have to put the other regions in. I thought about Steve's region, for where the Mothman was for him, put it in, but I didn't get a chance before time. Probably would have done it for Hercules too if I knew where, the area. But
Yeah, no, I
9
think
out of
that's
10.
Thank
the
you.
whole East
Leonard.
Coast. The whole East Coast is haunted. I mean, you know, that's there's so much history there. But yeah, I think that's
Said the whole East Coast, huh?
well, you know, it's the original 13 colonies.
I'm gonna reload it. So see how much you guys can actually see on this. So I guess I lost my signal is the problem.
Hey, Steve, are you in that documentary about the Mothman that's on Amazon?
There's one that I'm
Hmm.
in, one of the small town monsters one. They did the Mothman of Point Pleasant, and then they did a sequel called the Mothman Legacy. I'm in that one occasionally,
Okay.
and it's kind of fun because it's one of the ones we show at the Mothman Museum, and so sometimes I'll walk in the back and I look up and there I am
What
on
are you
the
doing in there,
screen,
man?
and I can make
What
a
have you doing in there, Steve?
what's that?
Zandine, what did you ask him?
Oh no, I was just wondering, everything that he was doing lately up there.
But when my image is caught up there, I'll get somebody's attention, and I'll say, "Take a look at that guy. You know, he's strikingly handsome, but he's so full of himself. He will not shut up." And so it's always good for a laugh. But in all seriousness, Small Town Monsters does a really good job of putting these things together. UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman. They have covered everything, and they're still doing it.
That's very cool. I saw that Model A chassis that you had for sale. I wish I wasn't so
That
far away.
actually, that's my neighbor, who is an amazing the way he works on cars, and he restored 100-year-old Model T, and he still has it. So he put it, put it on a new chassis and everything with an updated engine, and he's just phenomenal. And he also repairs motorbikes and the old Indian motorcycles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's just amazing.
I wish I had a neighbor like that. I've been doing the brakes on my 49 Willys for the past 3 weeks, and I can't find a shop in town that not will
Mhm.
knock the kingpins out of the old hubs for me. And try Kaiser Willys on. There's only like 2 or 3 sites that have old parts, and I ordered these gaskets for this thing of a Kaiser Willys, and waited like 3 weeks for them, for them to send me the wrong stuff. So just trying to find parts for that old stuff is, and I'm ending up having to make my own gaskets for this thing. Anyways, so I won't bore anybody else with car talk. What do you got, Hercules?
I'm working on a few projects. One of them is based on Mount Shasta and its mythology and its contribution to UFOs through the channeled material that's come through, like the I Am movement and other similar movements. So if anybody wants to be part of that, I'm open to having some help with it. And also, I recently became an Avenger. I was
Eh.
diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and there's an organization called PD Avengers, and they call us to meetings by Avengers Assemble. So it's very clearly inspired by the Marvel comic. And I figure since the Marvel comic has a Hercules on the Avengers, I would join this Avengers and give them
How about that?
so
Yeah,
on
very
the
cool.
11th of this month, we tried to get municipalities to sign a proclamation to raise awareness about Parkinson's disease and also to shine a blue light on municipal buildings. So my town not only did that, they signed the proclamation, they shown a blue light, but they extended it for like a week past the event. So we're still lit up blue, and now I'm interfacing with them to see how else we could raise awareness about Parkinson's disease and anything else that ails humanity. I'm trying to ignore differences between people and their beliefs because we're too divided. So I'm staying away from politics, even though I'm a politician, and I'm staying away from very hard stances that would polarize. Everybody's welcome. Years ago, when I lived in New York City, I started the Age of Heroes, and back then the monster was the digital divide. Some people had computers, and most people didn't have computers. And the people that had computers were able to access the internet, and other people were stuck. They didn't have emails, they couldn't apply for jobs, so it was a mess. Eventually, Bill Gates and other people gave computers to libraries and solve the problem, but for a few years that didn't happen. So we worked with agencies and individuals. We opened up a few drop-in centers in downtown Brooklyn where people could come and use computers, and there'd be volunteers there showing them how to get an email, showing them how to use the internet. Right now, my Age of Heroes is on health because our health system is no longer sufficient to the needs of the citizenry. And also, it seems like things might get a little less steady with that in the days to come. So, trying to find all the information we can to help people find what they need and not to get stuck without healthcare.
Interesting. Hercules, have you ever dealt with Michael J. Fox since he has the same?
Not directly with Michael J. Fox. I've contacted his agency. I'm on the mailing list. I share the information that they have. They have a lot of excellent resources, and they have a lot of excellent events that people can get involved in. Though the ones I'm currently involved in is the PD Avengers and the Spark the Night programs. And can I curse on this show?
Yes, yes, yes.
Somebody started a movement called Fuck Parkinson's.
I like it.
I'm looking for ways to get involved with that. They have a couple of videos and they have T-shirts at this point, but I don't know if they're doing anything. I'm not going to join anything that just wants to sell T-shirts and make YouTube videos. But if they're actually helping out, I'm more than happy to put my name to that effort as well.
And Hercules, I heard you're in this book.
Yes, with you.
Yeah. and
Is that the ghost book?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. It's, if you can see the cover.
The persistence of ghosts. Tim Schwartz. Hey.
Yep.
All right.
And, Hercules, I mean, I know what I put in there, but what is some of the stuff that you placed into this book?
I don't remember. I've been published in over 25 of those books and numerous articles, and that's been a while already. But I've lived a haunted life. I'm not plagued by ghosts, but ghosts seem to be in abundance in my life. Elementals and the fae folks seem to be in abundance. I've always been receptive to them, and the culture that I grew up in rural Greece, that influenced my family and that influenced my life here. Was full of stories of ghosts and elementals and gypsies and curses and the evil eye and things like that. So I grew up in that, and a lot of my reality was framed with it.
Most excellent. Let's say, Steve, what's been going on in your neighborhood?
Well, they're starting to advertise the upcoming Mothman Festival, which occurs every third weekend in September. This year, I think it's 19 and the 19th and 20th. It doesn't matter. Whatever the third weekend is, that's the way it falls. So last year we had over 30,000 people go through Point Pleasant those 2 days. It's Saturday and Sunday, and it's in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, of course. And I live here. I live right on the same road that the Scarberries and the Mallets were chased by the Mothman back on November 15th, 1966. So we're gearing up for that. And of course, Jeff and the gang has a lot more to do. I usually I speak there on Sundays. Let me just give you kind of the lay of the land. Up and down Main Street, you've got all kinds of vendors, T-shirts, food, and so forth on on 4th Street, which is perpendicular to Main Street, right where the Mothman statue is, and right next to the Mothman Museum. that's where the speakers usually have their tables, and they have their books there, and they're very accessible. And on the north end of town these days, in a Trinity Church, it's a great venue. We have that's where the speakers are for Saturday and Sunday, and we always have a wide variety of different types of speakers, different topics, and so forth. I even usually speak. I'm the last speaker on Sunday, usually, when everybody's driving home. So that works out pretty good. But and I'm also the MC these days. I mean, I've really become absorbed. And what I want to tell people is that if you do go to the festival, and it's crazy crowded, hard to find a parking space, hard to find lodging, but if you do go, stand in line on Saturday morning to get your ticket for the Mothman Hayride, because we take people into the dreaded TNT area, 9 miles north of Point Pleasant, uh, and we have it's kind of like a Halloween hayride, but we have three tractors, three carts. Two of the carts are like proper hay rides with the bales of hay. They give me the old man cart with the nice comfortable seats, which I appreciate. You go in, and the men in black try to turn you away. They've got bullhorns, and this is a restricted area, that sort of thing. Fortunately, they're much more like the Keystone Cops than the men in black. I go in ahead of time and set up a bunch of giant spider webs and giant spider creatures with their eyes lit up. But the main attraction is if you ever go into the Mothman Museum, there's a Mothman up on the ceiling, and my friends John and Tim, they take him down. And they hide behind the old acid plant, and this is the ruins of the TNT area. They run Mothman down a wire. They have this ingenious low-tech hand crank delivery system, and they light up his eyes with battery power, and they blast a sound effect over speakers. And it's just an absolute blast. The area is creepy enough where you don't really need anything, but guaranteed fly over the Mothman. And it's so much fun being a tour guide and having the back and forth with people on the cart. And I'm going to give a spoiler here. Just when you think it's safe, I kind of play it down and say, okay, we're out of the woods now, nothing to worry about. Well, there's two guys hiding in the shadows in ghillie suits, waiting to scare the living hell out of you. So it is really a lot of fun. It's worth braving the crowds, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of people pull together, but it is an absolute blast.
And Steve, do you guys ever talk about the Sacramento Mothman?
I haven't heard much about that. I've heard you talk about it a little bit, but
Yeah.
that's something I do not know much about.
Okay, and it's real simple. You just Google or Bing Sacramento Mothman, and everything will pop up.
It's another kind of a winged creature, humanoid creature.
He was taking a vacation from West Virginia.
See, I've been telling people he's in a condo in Florida.
Trying to see what ladies they got out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, also too, like Chicago Mothman. There was a
Well,
lot of sightings over there.
well, I'm a little skeptical about the Chicago Mothman. A great researcher named Allison Jornlin, several years ago, she started researching that area. And the first thing is, I have three sources that tell me, two of them from MUFON, that some of the original sightings were coming from the same IP address. So when it first kicked off, Allison Jordan went in, and she, when people will tell a story and they make it up, they don't get everything quite right. Well, she found a lot of discrepancies with some of the sightings. She didn't reject them all, but
Yeah.
anyway, she spoke at the Mothman Festival one year, with talking about her research, and also the Van Meter Visitor Festival, and and she was viciously attacked for just questioning the possibility that some of these sightings may not be legit. So I've always been a little bit skeptical, mostly based on her research, that it's and here's another thing. Some people say, oh, it was the Point Pleasant Mothman migrated to Chicago. Well, here's one huge discrepancy. Mothman in the Ohio Valley was coupled with UFO sightings. People saw it. They had an outbreak of poltergeist phenomena. There's all kinds of high strangeness associated with the creature. Well, I haven't heard much of any of that with the Chicago Mothman. So I don't know what to make of that. I just tell people, just be cautious, and some of the Chicago Mothman stuff may not be legit.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with the Sacramento Mothman. This one guy named Mark Greer claims that he saw this Mothman. Well, I interviewed him, got a story, and the story got spread around and went viral. And and the story actually went on Monster Quest on the History Channel. And come to find out, 6 other people claim that they saw Mothman at the Tower Bridge.
Okay.
So it blows me away. I mean, what did they actually see? I mean, and one guy even called the cops because he was totally freaked out because he saw this huge creature jump off the bridge and fly off. So I don't know. It's weird.
That's
There's a
phenomenon.
history.
That's
Go ahead.
an interesting phenomenon. When my wife and I were actively investigating in Pennsylvania, there was one case which we called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Badger. A lot of people were describing something that looked like a weasel or a cat, but it had a long body and it slithered like a snake, and it had white fur and had glowing red eyes. And we thought that somebody was just making it up. So when we got the information, my wife did the research to see if it could be anything like biological that somebody could perceive in that way. And in the process of just basically trying to debunk it, we encountered people from 3 different generations in the area who had these encounters, who didn't know of each other. So again, it's weird. You never know until something comes to light whether there's more shadow tied to it.
And we don't know if it's, when people say, well, Mothman's been seen all over the world. Well, winged creatures, apparitions have. But, if John Keel was onto something, and these were transmogrifications of energy, if they were temporarily physical, perhaps it doesn't always manifest the same way, even though it may be essentially coming from the same source. We had the Houston Batman in the 50s. We had the Wisconsin Man Bat in the early 2000s. So
That's
a good point.
And what I like is Dr. Donald Omond. He's a guy that exorcised the Loch Ness Monster. Yep. Anyway, he called it the Phantom Menagerie, that these things sort of pop in and out of. And that's the kind of the term I like.
Phantom Menagerie. That's a good point.
On Demonic Reality, I think it was called. That's about the same subject.
What's that called again, Hercules?
Demonic, spelled the Greek way, D-A-M-O-N-I-C, reality.
Daemon.
In Greek, that means an in-between.
Extra human.
Yes.
Extra human.
An angel can be a daemon. Your higher self can be a daemon. If it's in between heaven and earth, or between earth and the underworld, it's a daemon. So
wait, you're correct. Even before the Greeks had gotten to, before they came and conquered some of Africa, even those original, not rabbis known to what most people know about, but those religious practices, everybody believed they had a demon, good or bad, daemon. So by the time the Greeks got there, they were calling it extra human, but then the Greeks, did their own thing as well. But that is interesting. She said, everybody, now we all have an AI agent, so we might have a daemon ourselves.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
You're very right.
We have 2 minutes left. So what we're going to do is take a 10-minute break, and you'll get a second link so we can finish up this interview.
Great. Thank you. See you guys in a couple of minutes.
All right. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Smoke up, man.
Well, we actually we got 1 minute and 38 seconds. So if anybody wants to talk jokes, talk about any encounters they had.
I'd like to.
Hey, what's this?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Hercules.
I'd like to invite you guys to be on my show. I want to interview you as a group. So
freak yeah.
Paul, give me your contact information, and I'll get in contact with everybody by the end of the week, and let's do it.
Okay,
Sounds
Heck
good.
yeah.
and also too, you're talking about Mount Shasta. I did an
I'm going up.
investigation over there, and I actually believe that I encountered a Bigfoot, and
Wow.
and we even took a picture. Well, I took a picture of a UFO at Mount Shasta, and Tim Beckley and Timothy Beckley and Tim Shorts actually took the pictures from my Mount Shasta investigation and placed it into their book.
Oh,
Wow. Wow. Yeah. The Mount Shasta is active, man.
Oh yeah, Mount Shasta
I
is.
got footage. Matter of fact, I'm going. I don't want to, publicly, but I don't want to say which day I'm actually going up there. But I'm gonna hit that up. I'm gonna hit it up really soon.
Remember, the last of the Lemurians live inside Mount Shasta. UFOs and military jets have been seen going in and out of Mount Shasta. Bat Squatch in 2009 was seen at Mount Shasta. Ghosts
Hey,
are all over Mount Shasta because of Mount.
hey, if that guy was with my son like that, he'd be a stand up guy. Go ahead.
Hey, Zandine, it's your turn. I think Hercules, Steve, unless we missed out on anything. But yeah, I think it's your turn to talk.
You know what? Actually, oatmeal no sugar. Waffles no syrup. Like, I want to know, like, what is this? I'm wondering. When I see stuff like this, I'm gonna ask you guys what you think. I guess that'll be more important. I'll ask you what you think.
Answer that question partially. A lot of people,
Okay.
including myself, as I get older, process
What do you think this is? Check this out.
It's two of you, see it?
Oatmeal no sugar.
No, it's not. No, it's splitting. No, it's splitting into three. It's making three of them now. It's three.
Almost looks like
It's
Orion's
four
belt.
now it's four. Yeah, it's making four of them now.
They get faint because they keep splitting more and more. But it started out as like one big giant ball. That There's another split right there.
sounds like the stuff that was going on at Marley Woods.
Where's Marley Woods at, Steve?
That was in southeast Missouri, and Ted Phillips. He was kind of vague about that. I actually did find out where the area was, some of the towns, but Ted Phillips was the guy that worked with Dr. Hynek and did thousands of trace landing cases, close encounters of the second kind, and he had never seen anything. And then they introduced him to this area they kind of codenamed Marley Woods. And that's the kind of light phenomenon they were seeing, where these light balls would separate and come back together. I mean, there were also
Wow,
cryptids
nice.
seen there, and it was a high strangeness area, but it was the first time Ted Phillips had ever seen anything anomalous himself.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
And he did also, he said that it seemed like there was kind of a transformation in a lot of sightings where we used to get the classic disc a lot, and we still do. We even get the triangles and so forth. But he said there was kind of a shift toward the light ball phenomenon, and more so than had been in the past. So, suggesting that whatever this is seems to evolve and change a bit.
And Steve, did I ever tell you I talked to Dr. J. Allen Hynek?
No, I actually saw him speak 10 years after the swamp gas fiasco, but go ahead.
Yeah, I talked to him in 1976. There was a
That's the year I
situation.
saw him.
What's that?
That's the year I saw him.
Oh, wow, that's cool. I talked to him. I didn't see him. I talked to him on the phone. My girlfriend at the time, Helen Lang, in Sacramento, California, she comes screaming into the apartment, and she's all hysterical. I go, "What's going on?" And she goes, "There was a UFO. It was 200 feet above my head." I said, "Oh, bullshit."
Wow.
I said, "Bullshit. I don't believe that." And and she goes, "I did." She was like really angry. "I saw the UFO." I go, "Okay, calm down, calm down." I said, "If you saw the UFO, I'm going to take you to the Sacramento Sheriff's Office, and you can make your report." She goes, "Let's go." I go, "All right." So we went over there, and they said, "Okay, call this 800 number." She calls the 800 number. It's Dr. J. Ellen Hynek.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, and so she's explaining what happened, blah blah blah. So she makes her report, and I said, "Okay, I halfway believe you." And then come to find out, okay, come to find out, the Sacramento Bee writes an article about Helen's sighting, and guess what? Two other people in Sacramento in two different areas saw the very same UFO. So she was actually telling me the truth. So Dr. Alan Hynek is talking to me on the phone. He goes, "Can I talk to Helen?" I go, "I broke up with Helen." He goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah, we broke up." He goes, "Do you know where she is?" I go, "No, she didn't." And he goes, "Oh, wow." He goes, "Did she describe the UFO? Did you see the UFO?" I go, "No." And he goes, did she describe the UFO? I said, "I had her make a drawing of it." He goes, "Can you send me the drawing?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." And then he goes, "What were you doing at the time that she saw the UFO?" I said, "I was laying on bed, watch. I could even tell you what I was watching. I was watching Dick Van Dyke's The Comic." And he goes, "Did anything happen?" I said, "Well, yeah, the TV went into static mode." He goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "UFOs, when they're close to a car, will make an engine stall out." Okay, at this time, I didn't know anything really about UFOs. And then he said, "And if they're close to a radio or a TV, it'll go into static." I said, "Well, yeah, it was into static. I was into the movie and I was trying to adjust it and everything else to watch it." And he goes, "Well, it sounds like a real UFO." Yeah, I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, send me the picture." So I send him the picture, and the story, that's where it ends. I mean, they wrote the thing in Sacramento Bee, and she saw the UFO, and two other people saw it.
Well, of course, you know the swamp gas fiasco occurred in March of '66, and Hynek was dispatched from then Project Blue Book to check things out. He had become to believe that people were really experiencing something, but the Air Force wanted him to kind of straddle the fence and kind of disarm everything. So he suggested some of the sightings in Michigan might be swamp gas. Well, here 10 years later, they have the MUFON Symposium in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is in that same general area where they were seeing these things at the Weber Inn, and it was close to where I lived. I mean, I was thrilled to death that I could
It's
attend
close
this.
to where Whitley Strieber lives at.
Wasn't he in New York?
Yeah, oh, by the Hudson Valley.
Yeah, Hudson Valley. This is a good ways from there, but
Oh, okay, okay.
anyway, he the name of his talk was. Now, he had separated from the Air Force. He started the Center for UFO Studies in Evanston, Illinois. And the name of his talk was Swamp Gas Plus 10 and Counting. And he talked about some of the mistakes he made back then and what they were doing now. And it was really great. I even recorded that talk, and I still have it somewhere. But he showed us these great cartoons that came out at the time. And like one of them was uh, the little green men have landed. They've got their big blasters. They've stopped some Earthman on the street, and the caption says, "Take us to the one that called us swamp gas."
And
So
it's,
there was a lot of that going on, but
uh,
it was great to see him at that symposium.
Hudson Valley was a huge
Oh,
magnet
sure.
for UFOs. Everybody was seeing UFOs, and J. Allen Hynek, being pushed by the government, said it would look like swamp gas.
He co-wrote a book called The Hudson Valley UFO Sightings with Bob Pratt. And Bob Pratt's an interesting guy too because he investigated those really bizarre close encounters in South America. But yeah, Hynek covered these giant triangles that were being seen over the Hudson Valley in upstate New York in that time period.
Wow. Yeah,
But
I still think about the day that I was talking to J. Allen Hynek, and I said, I was talking to a legend.
I had no idea. Well, it was funny because when when these sightings started in March of '66, he goes to the Air Force and he says, "Hey, do you want me to go to Michigan and check it out?" And they said, "Oh no, nobody said anything." Well, then Senator Gerald Ford, who became our president a little bit later, he was so pissed off that the Air Force wasn't doing anything about this because so many credible people, police officers and so forth, were reporting these things, and the Air Force just seemed to be ignoring it, which of course they were.
Right. That is fascinating. And yeah, and in Hudson Valley, I mean, until this day, they still get a lot of UFO sightings out there.
Oh, sure. Big hotspot.
Yeah.
And they were seeing them, over the highway. Hundreds of cars are looking up and they're seeing these giant triangles all lit up.
That is crazy. Steve, are you still there?
Yes, I hear.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Phil, you know anything about those Hudson Valley UFOs?
No, I hadn't heard anything about that.
Heard-
Hudson Valley was just far enough away from New Jersey to where I think we visited there once for a car show when I was a kid. That was about it.
I went to go see some of the stone chambers. The ancient stone chambers that are there
Oh, okay.
that they kind of tie in with paranormal phenomena.
Stone chambers.
I even spent the night in a watershed area. You're not supposed to do that, but a researcher, Rosemary Ellen Guiley, had been there with some people and experienced some paranormal phenomena. So I, like an idiot, I went there alone one night, and I didn't experience much of anything. I don't think. I actually, unfortunately, nodded off at one point, but that probably all the denizens of the area were looking at me laughing. Here's this big paranormal researcher that has dozed off, but it was she experienced some really bizarre stuff in that area. So and then the heck of it was a month later, I found out about David Paulides and his investigations into missing 411. I had
Yeah.
no idea. If I had read any of those books prior to that, there's no way in hell I would have stayed there overnight alone.
And some of my UFO hunts have been at the Lawrence Livermore Labs. We camped out there, well, close to it, all night long. I had a couple of investigators say, "Hey, they saw some UFOs." I didn't see anything. Um, and then we did Area 51. Again, I had some investigators say, "We saw some UFOs." I didn't see anything. But I did a lot of cool ass interviews out there. And I had a guy in camis sitting off on the hillside. We're at the gate, and I'm looking at him with binoculars. He's looking at me with binoculars. I look at him again, and he's holding a sniper rifle at me.
Oh, great.
Holy shit. I said, "Well, you got to get out of here." One of the investigators, "No, Paul, we traveled all the way over here. Let's stick it out." I go, "No, I'm telling you, there's a dude pointing a gun at me. No, hell no." So, yeah, we took off there, but I got some really good stories out of there. Um, I had a guy who I was talking to over at the Alien Inn, and he was telling me, he goes, I used to work at Area 51. And he goes, I used to ride in this bus and they had blackout windows. So you couldn't really see where you're going. But he said in the bus was Bob Lazar. And he said that in the bus, you were not allowed to talk to anybody because you might disclose something that they're not supposed to know. So, yeah, it's a weird place, but yeah, it was interesting. Hercules,
Yes.
you.
Back in the day, I investigated a lot of places, including Hudson Valley, Amityville, the uh,
Oh,
mental hospital on Roosevelt Island. There were a lot of places. I didn't really experience anything, although I've
did,
experienced
did you go to the Amityville Horror House?
not inside the house, but in the neighborhood. I checked out the house, checked out Amityville. I didn't have any success feeling anything in these places. And then other places that had no reputation or had rumors, those were hotbeds of activity. But I too have had no luck with certain haunted places that people talk about.
Do you guys remember a guy who killed his wife, Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I went to the house in Modesto and I actually got an EVP of a woman saying, "Stop it." And that was it. I was like, "Whoa!" And I did have one female investigator with me and three male investigators with me, and it was none of their voices. But yeah, I got a EVP of a woman saying, "Stop it." And I think that was residual energy from the time that he was probably strangling her in the kitchen or something like that.
Well, I've got a question for you, ghost investigators, and it has to do with the so-called residual hauntings. You know, however that happens, however that imprint occurs, my question is, do you think it's possible that the residual energy or intelligence or whatever actually becomes interactive, as if it was a conscious entity all along? I mean, can it go through that evolution?
I don't think so. I don't know what Phil thinks or Hercules thinks, but
That's a different. Aren't those two different types of hauntings?
yeah,
I was
residual.
just wondering if the residual ever kind of after a period of time, if it can become more interactive as if it's a conscious haunting.
I think that it can in certain cases. I think that it depends on whether the soul is actually stuck in the loop, or whether it's just an imprint on energy that plays itself out under certain circumstances.
Okay.
If you're dealing with something interactive, there's a good chance you're dealing with something that's not a ghost at all. It could be a demonic, and that's the risk you're always taking with anything that's interactive. From what I've read and from everything I've learned is that there's the energy imprints, there's ghosts, and then the things that most likely interact with people, or more often interact with people anyway, I should say, normally have bad intentions, and so those tend to be on the demonic side. And I guess the
Okay.
demon warrior would probably know a lot more about that than I do, with 1,100 cases or more under his belt.
And what's interesting, like during my investigations, I have investigated tulpas, ghosts, shadow people, demons, residual hauntings, and intelligent hauntings, ghosts. So, one story that really fascinated me when I was a little boy, I think it could have came from Brad Steiger, but in 1974, off in Chicago, Illinois, this couple moved into this home, and around about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, they would see a man manifest and walk over towards the couch, and a woman would appear on the couch. And he went to the woman and started striking her. And then all of a sudden they dissipate and they disappear. They saw this 2, 3 times. And then they went to a block party, and the host says, "Yeah, we do this every year. We have a lot of fun. Everybody gets to know everybody and everything else." And he goes, "You can look at my photo album at our past events." So she's flipping through it, and she looks at this one picture, and she goes, "Oh my God, these are the ghosts in my house." And the host goes, "What?" He looks at the picture. He goes, "Ghosts? What are you talking about?" He says, "Yeah, they lived in your house. The police were there all the time. They had domestic disputes. They got a divorce. He lives 5 blocks down the road, and she lives out of state. They're both alive. How can they be ghosts?" Residual haunting. And it happens over and over and over again.
You can be stuck in a loop at any time, and usually you don't even recognize it. You just think that, why does this always happen to me? And you start saying things like all men, all women, all Greeks, all whatever, paranormal researchers. And you weave this story and you cast it and you live it out. And as long as you having these repetitious experiences, you're stuck in that loop. And the ghosts, I believe, operate on the same principle.
Yep. That is, yeah, it's absolutely. And also, too, tulpas. That's interesting because it's something like what's his name? Gibson. I can't think of his full name, but he was the author of The Shadow. Only the
Oh yeah,
Shadow.
Walter Gibson.
Yeah, Walter Gibson. Yes. Walter Gibson thought about his character so much, the shadow, that would actually manifest in his apartment. And when he had friends and family at the apartment, they said, "Walter, who's that guy?" And they go, "What guy?" Walter's going, "What guy? What are you talking about?" "He's got this red scarf over his mouth. He's got this big, large fedora hat. And he's wearing all black, and he's creeping around here." He goes, "What are you talking about? That's my character, the shadow." The shadow actually manifested from his mind because he thought of it so much that it actually became real.
When he
So,
started writing those, he was actually writing 2 shadow novels a month. Oh, jeez.
oh
We'll
my
talk
God.
about the pulp magazine writers, Kenneth Robeson, well, actually, Lester Dent, Doc Savage, and all these. They would just grind them out, man.
Oh, yeah. The Avenger. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Avenger,
yeah. Yeah.
Captain Future.
Oh, yeah. Captain Future. Oh, my God.
I've got
Oh,
some of those. I've got a nice collection of pulp magazines,
oh,
some of the originals. Not a huge collection, but a nice collection. They even have some original Doc Savages and some original Shadows.
and Spider Widow.
Oh, the Spider. I've got one of those. Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, and also, too, Jose Farmer can found out that many of these authors of pulp fiction, Doc Savage and The Shadow and all this other stuff, that they would have these meetings. And then they said, "Let's secretly connect our characters together." And he made these authors, if you really look into it, you'll find out that Doc Savage is actually related to Tarzan. And it goes on and on and on. Jose Farmer, get the book. It's called Doc Savage and His Apocalyptic Life.
Right. And he connects. He takes it even a step further. He connects all kinds of fictional characters, detectives, and so forth, as part of this big, huge family, and he develops this whole mythos around it. So
Yeah,
yeah, you could tell that he loved these pulp magazines growing up. He really had an affection for them. I discovered Doc Savage in the Bantam reprints in the 1960s. And I looked in there and it said, originally published in Doc Savage magazine, whatever, 1933. And my dad found some for me, and so I got like the second issue of Doc Savage for like $2.50. Of course, this is back in the 1960s, but so I have a few treasures there, and and plus I have some of the original science fiction magazines where Ray Bradbury wrote some of his stories, and I even have an original Conan story from Weird Tales from 1935.
Conan's also
Wow.
Robert E. Howard.
Robert E. Howard. Yep.
Yes, Conan came about when Robert E. Howard had a dry spell in his writing. And all of a sudden, Conan appeared to him and threatened him with a sword and told him to write down what Conan says. And that's how Conan came to be. And Robert E. Howard was corresponding with H.P. Lovecraft.
Yep.
So the Conan mythos is very much entwined with the Cthulhu mythos.
But there must be 6 or 8 books collected. Lovecraft was very prolific as a not just as a writer, but in correspondence with all these great writers, Clark Ashton Smith and so forth. And you can get those, and they're fascinating to read. And one other thing, I've been reading a book called When the Stars Are Right by Howard. Oh, come on, Howard Smith. Um, it's about Lovecraft when he was a young man, and he was fascinated by astronomy. This is around the turn of the last century when he had these very low power telescopes, but there was an observatory not too far from where he lived in Providence. He could go check out once in a while. But it's just fascinating to because back then they thought, well, heck, maybe there was even life on the moon, and he was fascinated by Venus and the moon and so forth. And even back then, they didn't even know if there was more than one galaxy. There's so little that they knew about the life of stars and so forth. So it's just fascinating to see young Lovecraft as he was developing into a writer and his fascination with astronomy.
And Steve, don't forget, you got G8, Slam Bradley, Nick Carter, Sheena, and Captain Future. And do you have any of those pulp magazines?
Yeah, no, I have almost a complete collection of Captain Future, which is
Okay.
really, I always got a kick out of them because Captain Future, his solar system, there was life on every one of them, and Jupiterians and Neptunians and so forth, and Venusians, and
And you're talking about the Man of Tomorrow.
yes, the Man of Tomorrow, and he had a robot companion and an android companion, and was it Simon Gregg, the professor, who was just a brain floating around in a cube on tractor beams?
And wasn't Captain Future written by Edmund Hamilton?
Edmund Hamilton, yes, I loved Edmund Hamilton. He wrote most of them, but it was one of these things like Lester Dent when he wrote Doc Savage. They already had the characters set up and the premise, and so they had to just kind of run with it. And but with Hamilton's imagination, he really carried it forward. Even though some of it's kind of silly, it's really he was always entertaining, Edmund Hamilton.
And Slam Bradley, I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but that was by
No.
Jerry Siegel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was by Jerry Siegel and Dennis Novell.
The co-creator of Superman?
Yes.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. Yeah. Pulp.
Well, you know what? Paul, you and I are geeks if we know this stuff.
I know. I know it. I know it.
I,
Oh
I,
my
I admit
God.
to it.
Oh. Well, also too, now with AI, it's really fun because I can take characters like that, like I could take G8 or Nick Carter or whatever, and
All
have
right.
them meet Spider-Man
Well,
with AI.
G8. I don't have any of the original G8s, but some of the reprints. And man, those were wild tales. He was
Yeah.
a spy in World War One, fighting zombies and giant winged bat creatures. And thought, man, how crazy can you get?
Well, Steve, when you have time, go by my timeline and look at some of the AI creations. I've been doing a lot of crossovers. So I've been putting a lot of comic book characters with other comic book characters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, shoot. I think we talked about everything. I see Zandine's in the car. He's going somewhere. He's probably going to Mount Shasta.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
It's secret.
Yeah. Oh, and Mount Shasta in 2009, Bat Squatch was seen at Mount Shasta.
Okay.
Yeah, by 3 hikers, and also too, Bat Squatch was originally seen, I think, at Mount St. Helens.
You know, if it was a real physical being, how vast of a wingspan would you have to lift something of that bulk?
Exactly. Yeah, it would be tremendously large.
Like Rodin, probably knock over buildings when it flapped.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Phil, what have you been reading lately?
I've heard something about a purple cult up in Mount Shasta, like a bunch of hippies that are all wearing purple up there and staying out in some grove out there. I'm not. Is there any truth to that, or is this just something that's made up?
It attracts. Go ahead.
I don't know about purple. Yeah. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
No. I was going to say Mount Shasta is a very mystical mountain, so it attracts a lot of strange people. And one of the stories is these people that were camping out over there, they claim that they saw 3 men with robes gliding down Mount Shasta, and then they noticed that they had little eyes on their forehead. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's one of the stories of Mount Shasta. Also, too, there's a lot of cult members who hang out near Mount Shasta.
Way back in the old. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Zandine. You got like 2 minutes left. I want to hear what you said about that.
Mount Shasta. There's a guy that's from up there named Hoot, and he sells like this infinity art. But that guy, he's always telling everybody about the name of the Sister Mount Aika, and that's the one that was discovered first about the time split. And there's a man that wrote a book about Dweller on 2 Planets. That's all about the whole, Lemurian and the whole planet thing. So, but I know the people up there, and you got guys talking about they were gifted a gram of DMT to guys who are like trying to be light beings. I mean, there's all kind of stuff going on up there, man. And then you got the Peruvians and a lot of those groups that fast, do athletes up there, make contact. But I think one of the most interesting stories I heard was other than the Lemurians inside and the time shift being necessary. So like you could be up on Mount Shasta and your alternate self or your time split self could be at the vibration they are dealing with them. So that's the thing. I like people say they see people they don't. But I think one of the most interesting things is that they don't know about the other mountain or what's inside of the other mountain as well.
And Zandy, you were talking a dweller on the 2 planets.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Talk about that, Paul. Tell me something about that, man.
Hey, you'll find my Mount Shasta adventure in this book.
Nice. Gotta check it. Yeah, no, I mean the people, there's the myths about the Lemurians or somebody from Mount Shasta coming down to town shopping, and then going right back up, into the hill. And there's that kind of thing. But from the reports on the tracker, there's like craft there every day. Black triangles with red lights, silver disc going into the top of the hill. That just happened today. Formations, things doing the kind of movement you like, Paul. Hypersonic, like stopping, and then doing like.
And a busted van goes Wankers.